Ahoy hoy! How's everyone doing today? Are we all settled in for a story time with Tom? Good. Then I'll begin. Now, we all remember the X Factor. It was the epitome of Saturday night television for a generation, and I've made no secret of my opinions on it. I'm honestly kind of shocked that we as a nation were so gripped on X Factor for so long. It's kind of embarrassing when you think about it. Created by Simon Cowell purely to make more money than he did with Pop Idol, the show was a runaway success in the UK from day one, even spawning countless other international versions. Actually, I can count them. 56. Too many. Of course, this success would not last forever, and following years of declining ratings, and a frankly embarrassing attempt at shaking it up in 2019 with 2 different versions, the show died a miserable and lonely death. But we're not here to talk about the X Factor. Not really. Today we're here to focus on one particular contestant, and their one solo album that derailed their career. Or did it? Yeah, it did. But before we can talk about this artist, we should first take a look at their season of the show. The year is 2008. The Beijing Olympics have been and gone, and the housing crisis is in full swing. And news has broke that Sharon Osbourne will not be returning to season 5 of The X Factor, because she was too old or something. This season was home to a variety of memorable moments and memorable acts, such as season winner Alexandra Burke, most famous these days for being the person to bring the phrase elephant in the room over to our shores.
It's really a metaphor, and I'd never heard of the saying before, and it's a very American saying, so I thought, well, why not be the first person to kind of bring it over here and make it into a song?
And JLS, who even to this day are keeping the club alive with the sound of music, and currently doing drill apparently, but they're not who we're here for. No, today we're going to zero in on the 3rd place runner-up, a then 15-year-old little scamp named Owen Quigg. Owen? I don't know. Born in Born in Northern Ireland, little Mr. Quigg discovered a love of singing from a young age, and in 2008, after hitting just bare minimum age requirement, he put on his very best vest/hoodie thing and took a stab at stardom by auditioning for the X Factor.
So how will 15-year-old Owen fare when he faces 4 judges in foul moods?
Did I miss something?
And what's the song you've chosen?
Home by Michael Bublé. Another summer day.
Alright.
And just like that, he was in. And performance after performance, Owen quickly became a fan favourite, especially attracting the attention of comedian Harry Hill. For 10 grueling weeks of live shows, Owen sung his heart out, fighting his way to the final, where all the love and support he'd garnered netted him 3rd place. But this would not be the end of Owen. It was announced soon after the end of season 5 that he'd signed a record deal with RCA to produce an album, and as you've read the title of the video, you can probably guess how that went.
Another summer day is coming.
On April 6, 2009, Owen Quigg released his debut album, Owen Quigg. The album opened to reviews. The album was immediately savaged by critics, who called it bad karaoke, amateurish as well as utterly redundant, and positively wince-inducing. The record has since been called the worst album of all time, which is an accomplishment. But with all this hate surrounding it, I have to know, can it really be that bad? I mean, looking at the songs list, it's all covers apart from one, so it's not like the songs themselves are bad. So I thought I'd listen to the album in its entirety and give opinions on each song as we go. Bearing in mind that I'm not a musical expert in the slightest, so you're not going to get much in the way of an in-depth study. Also, for obvious copyright reasons, I can't play much of the songs here, but I've linked a playlist of the whole album on YouTube if you really want to listen with me. Okay, so this is the main single from the album, and the only original song on here. It's not great. I've heard worse for sure, but it's not going on any playlists anytime soon. The 28,000 friends in question seem to be followers? I think back in 2009 that would have been considered like a big influencer number. Not that I can talk currently. From what I can tell, Owen wants to get with this social media star, but he spends the whole song insulting her. He's asking her stuff like, how does it feel to be alone? So many friends that you don't know. Like, mate, what's the end goal here? I think my favourite line though is, don't send an email, let me touch your face. Go see a shrink about it. It's not right. Like, what? 5 out of 10. Okay, so as the rest of the album is purely covers, there won't be as much to talk about, at least like lyrically, so I'm going to try and lightning round the rest of these. Nothing says I'm a grown musician, take me seriously, like covering High School Musical. And if you're going to do it, at least cover a good song from it like Bop to the Top or Bet on It. My immediate thought is Kids Bop. Yeah, I mean, it's worse. I can't think of any reason as to why anyone would actively choose to listen to this version of the original. I get the feeling I might end up saying that a lot, actually. 2 out of 10. Okay, this time he's covering a McFly song, which, you know, feels like more his area of expertise. So you'd imagine he'd fare better here, you know, he's in his element. You'd think, but no. The problem is, it's sung exactly the same way McFly did, just worse. So why would anyone bother? 3 out of 10. Okay, this song is apparently by a band called A1. Who the fuck is that? I don't know, maybe me not having heard the song before will work in Owen's favour. If it's even average, I won't have anything to compare it to, so it might come off better. Oh my god, I was right. I actually liked it, what the fuck? It's a catchy song, and the singing was better. I'm sure the original is probably like leagues ahead, but let's be honest, Owen needs the win. 7 out of 10. Okay, next we have an ABBA classic, which is probably a smart move. If you're going to do bad karaoke, you may as well pick a classic of that genre. Hell, that's what Mamma Mia 1 basically is. This song is about the singer flirting with someone much younger than them. But considering Owen was, what, 16 at the album's release? How old is the person he's talking to supposed to be? I mean, the thing with ABBA is, they're so good in such a unique way, you can't really fuck up a cover. Don't get me wrong, they really tried. I can only describe the background music itself as like an onslaught. I don't know, you'd have to listen to this one yourself to get what I really mean. Otherwise, Quig was fine, it's serviceable. 5 out of 10. Hey, it's that one from before, the Michael Bublé one.
Michael Bublé.
I mean, Simon loved it.
Alright.
So why wouldn't I? In a word, boring. I think the problem with this one is he just sings the whole thing at like the same level. Like there's no range, it's just flat. God, that was like a genuine criticism of music. Look at me. 4 out of 10. Oh, a Jonas Brothers song. But not a Jonas Brothers song that I like. Owen, it's an uphill battle for you with this one. It's the same. Like, it's literally the same. You could tell me that this was the Jonas Brothers version and I'd believe you. It was already a song I didn't like, and he's put absolutely zero artistic stamp on it, so what was the point? 3 out of 10. Oh, school discos beware, Owen Quigg's coming for you. Wow, he was struggling to contain his Irish accent in this one. Flux capacitor. Couple that with this really weird breathy thing he's doing in this one, it's making me feel like they recorded this at the end of a long day and just went with the first take. 3 out of 10. How are we not done yet, for fuck's sake? It was fine, which is probably the best we can hope for. Not much more I can say about it, to be honest. 6 out of 10. Uh-oh, it's another heavily Irish one. Man, the backup singers are not into it at all. Oh, it has a really sinister sounding key change midway through. I've never listened to the original all the way through, so I don't know if that's like an Owen exclusive or not. 4 out of 10. Okay, final song. We can do this. Never forget, like 9/11? I don't know this one either. In the background there seems to be what I can only describe as an angry toad. Oh, seems like the backup singers have had enough. They're trying to sing over him now. Oh, hang on, I do know this one. That makes it worse. 3 out of 10. Okay, and we are done. Okay, so my expectations going into this were that I probably wouldn't mind the album itself, and not having much of a musical ear myself, I probably wouldn't be able to locate any specific problems. I mean, there was a little of that, but for the most part, no. No, man, that was bad. So, following the release of the album and the overwhelmingly negative reviews, Owen was quickly dropped by RCA. Which seems harsh. It was their fault, not his. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on who you ask, this was Owen's only album release. And as far as I can tell, he was not picked up by another label. Or at least, not one good enough for Wikipedia to mention it. In 2014, he did compete to become the Irish representative for the Eurovision Song Contest, but lost to Can Lynn and Casey Smith, which I'm sure worked out well for them. Nope, they failed to qualify. Bad news all round. Oh dear. Interestingly, after this, Owen made a bit of a career change, becoming a semi-professional footballer and playing for Coag and Port. You know what? Don't worry about it. So, what's he doing nowadays? Well, Instagram tells me he seems to be enjoying a simple life, having started a family and still gigging fairly regularly. So he seems happy, which is genuinely nice to see. I just hope he can look back on the flop album and laugh about it instead of worrying about what might have been. Apparently he's available for weddings and other social events, so I'll put his details down below if you want to book him. He seems like a genuinely nice guy, so I kind of want him to do well. Anyways, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it and you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment telling me what you thought of the album. Also, I now have a Patreon. I don't expect anyone to actually pay me at this point, but, you know, if you want. Anyway, it's bye-bye from me. Say bye-bye, Owen.
Bye-bye.